It's a real thing.
It's a thing. Hi, everybody. I am here for Soundcheck AVL today with Ben Sollee. My name is Ali McGhee of AshevilleGrit.com, and we're so excited to have Ben Sollee on today. Ben is playing at the Mothlight tonight at 9 p.m., doors at 8, with the opener Utah Green, and Jordan Ellis is going to be joining Ben for the performance as well. Tickets are on sale right now on the Mothlight's website, or you can buy them at the door, and we're going to kick it off with a short interview, and then Ben's going to play us a couple of tunes. Thanks so much for coming, Ben. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Just to traveling, just to making music. Sometimes it's for the stage, sometimes it's for the screen, but always making music.
And sometimes it's for virtual reality.
Yeah. I guess that
would be my first question.
of the stage and virtual reality. Yeah. Making music for virtual reality is an interesting thing because the paradigm of a record being mixed for stereo or even surround changes because that's all based on the listener being in a fixed point. And of course in virtual reality you can track their head movements and everything. So when you write a piece of music, it's much more like writing it with someone in the middle of the orchestra rather than in the audience of the orchestra. So they can kind of curate their own listening experience a bit. And so in December of 2015 we released a virtual reality app called The Vanishing Point.
So it's been released at this point.
It's been released. Yeah, we crowdsourced it. We had really good support from our fans out there, and I think we may have been the first music video premiere in virtual reality.
Wow.
But folk singing cellists, we didn't necessarily get a tremendous amount of credit for being first to virtual reality music, and that's okay. There's people that are doing it better than we did it, but it was a really wonderful experience for me, not only as a musician and composer, but also as a business trying to figure out how to make a new product and connect that with the fans and be like, people are used to buying songwriter records in my world. That's the product that I've made all these years. And then all of a sudden being like, hey, instead of getting a record, open up your app store and check out this new piece of music that we've put out. Yeah. It's just a different path, a different interface, a different story.
Right.
And as you all well know, as storytellers here, anytime you tell a really different story, it takes a little bit of time to figure out how to tell that just the right way.
Right, absolutely. And is the Vanishing Point still only available on iOS, or are they planning
No, it's available on Android and
iOS?
iOS.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect.
And so it's set up to be used with Google Cardboard, but you can also use it with any amount of the viewers that are out there right now.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, check it out. It's beautiful. I was looking at it a little bit today, so it's really gorgeous.
It's, to describe it, it's kind of like a roller coaster experience with Fantasia, kind of like a Fantasia type landscape. You definitely get to race whales.
Yes, race whales.
In the Vanishing Point.
That's amazing. All right. Well, to go back to the more traditional album, can you talk a little bit about InfoWars?
Sure. So the most recent record, InfoWars, was a record that was a collaborative record between myself and my longtime collaborator and percussionist, Jordan Ellis. Jordan and I have been playing music together for the last 8 years, but we met even further back from that in All-State Jazz Band. That's high school.
Like high school, yeah.
And it's been cool playing with him over the years, but often when we go to record a record, we would bring in all the other musicians that we wanted to collaborate with. And we'd make a really cool record, but at the end of the day, what we could afford to tour, what ended up usually reducing itself down to the duo, which was cello and drums, and Jordan would play bass lines on a Moog synth, and that was the show we would end up with. And so this time we said, well, what if we just record that show and put that out? And so that's what we did this time. And because we were already kind of set up to record all that, it was a very quick process. We could write songs around very immediate things, whether it's the flooding down in Louisiana that happened late last summer, or the release of Pokemon Go, or the earthquakes. There was a lot going on, and all that stuff kind of touched the record. Yeah. Because we could write in such an immediate way. Right. And so now we're out still supporting the record. Yeah. And I will make this note: I named the record InfoWars, kind of out of my own personal life experience that was going on at the time, between my relationships and my parents' relationship separating after 40 years. Everybody was telling a different story, and which one was right was hard to tell. And then of course you looked into the major news feed out there, and you saw that everyone else was doing the same sort of info warfare. And so I wrote a piece of music, an instrumental piece, and called it InfoWars. Put out the record, and then one of my friends called me up and they're like, "You know about this website, don't you? Called InfoWars?" And I said no, and they sent me a link, and I checked it out, and pretty terrifying stuff on that website. But I didn't change the name of the record because I was like, that's an obscure thing. It's not going to really, pivot the national conversation, surely. And my art can stand on its own.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it has come to bear that that news outlet and many like it are having an incredible influence on our national conversation right now.
Yeah.
So there's part of me that's like, well, contextually, I guess the name is more relevant than ever, but every time someone searches for the record, it's another hit for that website too, so I don't like validating that at all.
Right.
So might need to crowdsource another name for the record.
Rename it a year in or a few months.
This will be a very limited edition run of the record. I'll have to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, the record is fantastic. It's so wonderful, and I know that you are a storyteller as well, and it seems like every song on the record is a story, and the names are so evocative. We have Cajun Navy, Eskimo Annie, the Guitar Man, and the Singing Girl. Are these songs all separate little stories gathered from your travels, and do you have one you want to share with us, one of those stories?
Sure. I mean, everything that I write begins in a very personal experience. It's awfully rare for me to try to conceive of some strange fiction situation and then write around that. Sometimes the personal inspiration gets infused with fiction. But I remember seeing some news articles late last summer, early fall, about the volunteers, the men and women that got out and helped each other with all that flooding down in Louisiana that came late last summer. And it was an interesting thing because it wasn't a hurricane, so there weren't sirens. And it wasn't a superstorm, so there wasn't exactly warnings. It was just a big rainstorm that kept raining and raining and raining. And suddenly people found themselves flooded out of house and home. And you saw these volunteers, these brave men and women, get out there and just help their neighbors. Mm-hmm. Over 10,000 people were, estimated to have been rescued by the Cajun Navy, this volunteer folks. They did not get a lot of coverage in the news, nor did much of the flooding with everything else going on. And I thought, well, that's not right. Maybe I should write a song. Mm-hmm. And so much in the way that some of my songwriting heroes like Pete Seeger and Ani DeFranco and Nia Simone wrote about these different characters in their lives and times, I thought I would write a song about them, and it's called Cajun Navy.
Wonderful. All right.
Late in the summer, came in this rain. Didn't have a number, no, didn't have a name. Then came the cameras, the preacher man, to pray for Louisiana all over again. Yes, the flood they has, just the same as a big they cost, just the same as snow they dream, just the same as storm, and just don't buy any other name. Call out the Navy, Cajun Navy, the good old boys and girls are ready again. When the stormies are raging, just in the Cajun, they won't let you down. Call it a deluge, 1,000 year rain, but you save the sirens for the hurricanes. Pack all your memories in the kiddie pool, paddle down the streets of old Baton Rouge. Yes, the flood they has, just the same in the big they cost, just the same in the store they dream, just the same storm as a storm by any other name. Call out the Navy, Cajun Navy, the good old boys and girls who are ready again. When the stormies are raging, just in the Cajun, they won't let you down. And the stormies are raging, just in a cage. And they won't let you down. They won't let you down. They won't let you down.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank
Wow.
you so much. That was wonderful.
Well, some Cajun cello fiddling for you.
Yeah, it's really, really great. Thank you. I love that so much. That's such a good song, and it's so fantastic to hear it live right here. So you are an activist, and you've been called an activist. Do you like that term, activist? Is that
I don't mind people referring to my activism.
Yeah.
But as an activist described to me once, Larry Gibson, he's like, I'm not a cellist any more than you're an activist.
Mm-hmm. He's a mountain removal fellow in Kentucky.
Well, I mean, he's in Virginia, but
Virginia. Okay.
There's a professionalism to activism that I think is important to recognize.
Yeah.
Even though I think that we can all be activists.
Yeah.
And we can all play a role in activism. There's a certain professionalism that happens there.
I gotcha.
That being said, we can't all rely on someone else to do the job when we have things that need to get done. So I think that's where my role comes in. And I think I've really tried to focus in on what is music good for as a technology to raise awareness around issues, to make change in policy or society. And I think music as a technology, including some other arts, is really good at generating affection.
Yeah.
And by that I mean people don't make change based on statistics or really even economic value. People make changes and choose to protect things that they love and that they have an affection for. And so the challenge then becomes, okay, if you need to raise affection or awareness around an issue, what's the best tools for doing that? And that's what I think my role is as a musician.
Yeah.
And that's my activism, is using my music and art to build empathy and grow affection around issues, whether that be places, whether that be a underserved community, whether that be the environment in general. One of the biggest issues that we're all going to face as a team, as a nation, as a world, is climate change. And we are facing it now. It's not a distant thing, and we really need each other's help with it. I mean, there's no way around it, whether you think it exists or not. But we still need each other's help. I mean, there's people that struggle along the coast right now with disappearing land that don't believe in climate change, but they're still going to need help.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not well, that's what you get.
Right.
That's not human. We can't treat each other like that.
Right.
So if we're going to make those changes, we need the arts as a technology, not just like as an option, like a technology to help generate that kind of affection.
Great. Yeah, that's very well said. So maybe we'll let you close out here with one more tune. And again, Ben Sollee is playing with Jordan Ellis tonight at the Mothlight. Show starts at 9 p.m., doors at 8. Utah Green opens. And thank you so much for being here, Ben. And play one more song for us. Tell us what it is and maybe a little bit about it.
This is an Anais Mitchell tune. She's one of my very favorite American songwriters. Do you know her music? Oh, she's fantastic. I encourage you to check it out. And this is a song of hers called Coming Down that has been combined with a somewhat traditional, hybridized Mexican Huapango groove.
All right.
Here we go. Am I going to hit you?
I will.
No, you stay there. I just want to make sure I don't whack you.
I don't think so.
I've never felt so high. Well, I think I'm coming down. And I've never laughed so loud. I've never laughed so loud. I've never laughed so loud. Well, I think I'm coming down. And nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Well, I think I'm coming down. Please don't leave. Easy if you
feeling. Don't leave me like that. Not yet. Don't set me free.
Tonight at the Mothlight. Thanks for joining us for Soundcheck AVL, y'all. See ya.
Be well.